Welcome once again to the Talking Archive. I'm Josh Jacobs, and our conversation with radio personality, voiceover talent, and writer Fran Tunno concludes. Now, at the end of our previous episode, this is what you heard.
My mom was on the Price is Right and won the showcase.
And now here's the rest of that conversation.
It was the greatest moment in her life, I believe, other than, giving birth to her children, of course. But then he wrote her the nicest note, and because she wrote to him because she thought, Bob actually meant for her to have all these gifts, and, he personally cared about her deeply, and, of course, we know the answer to that, but she was absolutely invested in him, and he was so sweet to take the time to write to her. God bless him.
That's great. Was she on in the 1970s by chance? Or
She was on in September. Let me think. Her show aired September 23rd, 1982. That it was actually recorded on June 21st, 1982, and it aired in September. And she got on that show, and she told Bob Barker and the entire world that I quit my job and moved to California just so she could be on The Price is Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. It's actually, I have the video, and I wrote a book about my mom, which I am working on this summer because I am bound and determined to get it published. But she was really funny, and she didn't know she was funny, which is what made her funny. And so I have like a billion mom stories. And the Bob Barker story is by far one of the best. I mean, it's really good. So yeah, she was on and she won. And my dad had to live years after my mother passed away with all this furniture in his house that my mother insisted we take home. So we had like 2 dining rooms and a bar that didn't fit in the house. I mean, flatware, gold-plated flatware that tarnished. Oh, just all kinds of stuff.
The way you're describing it sounds like she was a double showcase winner, because if you're less than $250 away from the actual retail price of your own showcase, you win both showcases. But obviously that didn't happen.
That did not happen, thank you. Although she was really hoping it would, because they were giving away a car and she wanted to win it for me.
Oh.
But it's okay. I was just happy that she got to win. She could not have been happier. It was so nice to be able to have done that with her,
And that was when Johnny Olson was still with us.
Yeah.
And
Johnny Olson came through the crowd, and he would warm up the crowd, and he'd come through the crowd, and he's going up to everybody, and he comes up to me, and he like kisses me on the mouth.
Whoa.
And this was in the days before people, worried about COVID. And I just kind of jolted back a little bit. I was shocked. And my mother's sitting beside me, and she says, "Oh, honey, my mother was very Italian. Mm-hmm. She says, they're going to pick you. What if they wander with an old battle-axe like me, But she was perfect for that show. She was very, very Italian and just adorable. And Bob Barker really, he helped her out a lot. He definitely helped her win. That's for sure. That's
great. I was thinking about, so that's who Richard Dawson got the idea of kissing the female contestants from. Maybe it was Johnny Olson.
Maybe. I don't know. But, his breath was fine. I could tell there was a little scope in there because years of selling mouthwash, really teaches you the fine points of what smells like what.
A friend of mine, not really, more of an acquaintance, because, I've met him at many game show congresses. Randy West wrote a book called Johnny Olson, A Voice in Time, From the Birth of Modern Media to The Price is Right. And so it just talked about Johnny's life, and he and his wife Penny were married for many years until his passing. And so a lot of the things in the book, a lot of the pictures come from Johnny's own collection. And,
oh, wow.
And there was I think he wrote some diaries. He even wrote hymns, from what I heard.
Wow.
Although there were no hymns in the book itself, but he did keep the audience entertained. And I know that, what was your mother's memory of spinning that wheel? Because that wheel looked like it weighed a ton or two.
My mother she was short, and she was a heavy woman, but she was pretty strong. So I don't think it gave her any problems whatsoever. But it does look like it's heavy. I don't know. I didn't get to spin it. I got to go up on stage afterwards and thank Bob Barker, but I did not get to spin the wheel. Dang, I should have tried.
Well, it's now actually the studios for The Price is Right have moved to Glendale because
have they really?
Yeah, because Television City is under renovations for the next couple of years, and so it's pretty much uninhabitable. Plus, Fremantle, which now owns all the Goods and Tom and game shows, owns the studio then in Glendale that the show's going to be moving to. So I don't see it returning to Television City, the Bob Barker studio, anytime soon, unfortunately. But, I guess things happen where things move on, and that's one of those things. I'm looking forward to actually hearing about your mother's book. So how far away are you from publishing it?
That's a great question, Josh. If I can get somebody to publish it, I will be thrilled. If I can't, I'm going to self-publish. So, I mean, it's written. I'm kind of rearranging it to have a different arc because I was worried it was in chronological order, and I thought, well, that's just not interesting enough. So I'm trying to rewrite it so it's got a different arc. But dear God, Josh, I started writing this book over 30 years ago. It is high time to get the book out there. Definitely.
Yeah, I encourage you to do that.
I'll call you back and you can interview me when the book finally comes out.
I will definitely do. We'll have a celebration and everything.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I mean, in fact, somebody said self-publishing is a great idea. And because, you've got the rights to the book and there's different self-publishing software online that she could do it with. Even if you do it just in a Kindle format, it's still out there. Yeah.
Oh, I know many people who've done it. And, it certainly doesn't hurt. I have a friend who did it not long ago and has made quite a bit of money. He's charging $30 a book, and he's sold over 1,000. You do the math. $30,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, in fact, $30 is the average price of a book right now. A friend of mine.
Isn't that amazing? Wow.
Yeah, a friend of mine just wrote a book on Monty Hall. And it costs $35 for the soft cover and $45 or $50 for the hardcover. Basically, it's Monty's own autobiography they wrote about 45, almost 50 years ago, but it's been revised. He used the original book as an outline, or kind of like the foundation, and then he built upon it with new interviews from two of Monty's three kids, as well as people who worked with Monty. As well as even close personal friends of Monty, some of them coworkers as well. So he got to interview Jack Nars' son, David. He interviewed, I think, Brad James, whose dad was Dennis James, who was good friends with Monty. And then I'm trying to think who else. I did give the author two pictures of Monty that my dad bought for me at some sort of I'm not sure where it was exactly he got them, but he used one of those two pictures that my dad got me, so that was pretty cool. And so it says Josh Jacobs Collection in the book. That's always nice to see. And then another book of his he wrote on Gene Rayburn, and so I got him an interview with Warren Eckstein, who worked with Gene in New York, and then also Orson Bean, who was on Match Game quite often. And he said that Orson said to him, "Hey, have you had lunch yet?" He's like, "No." He's like, "What would you like, roast beef or ham?" I was like, roast beef. He's like, "Okay, here we go." And so Orson Bean made my friend some lunch.
Oh, how funny. Gosh, I remember him. Yeah, we could go on forever.
What was the best piece of advice you've been given?
Ooh, about radio or life? Or
radio, life, maybe both.
Boy, best piece of advice I've been given. It has to be from my dad. My dad just always believed in his saying was sempre avanti, which in Italian means always forward. You keep going no matter what, because there were times in radio after I was on with Ken and Barkley for 6 years, they decided to go with somebody else. And I was so crushed because I thought, oh my God, who am I if I'm not on the radio? If I'm not Fran Tunno on the radio, who am I? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized that I am still Fran Tunno, whether I'm on the radio or I'm not, and I'm important, whether people know me or don't know me. And I just really had a realization that you just keep going and things always work out. You know, you just keep going forward because you just can't let things bother you too much. So that's probably the best advice, is always just keep working hard and keep going forward. And in radio, I don't know, maybe watch your back.
Oh yeah.
I was surprised at how in radio there would be people who would be out for your gig. You know, if you were doing something that was really fun, other people would be out to get you. And I was from Pittsburgh. I didn't know that. That wasn't how we worked. And so I was unpleasantly surprised by that. But you after a while in every gig, you learn who you can trust and who you can't, and then you move forward. So what are you going to do? That's life. I put on my big girl pants and move on.
Maybe that's why we identify with that Frank Sinatra song, That's Life.
Yeah, no kidding. What is it? Flying high in some month and shot down in May. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Flying high in April, shot down in May. That could be it.
What's been your favorite voiceover projects that you've done?
Oh boy, I did. I've done a lot of work. There was a gal named Marla Hoskins. She has a company called Response Shop, and she's hired me for a few things. It was fun working with her. I did Medifast spots. I did. I'm trying to think of freecreditreport.com. I did a bunch of stuff back then. I also did this little character named Lucky Cat. He was on it was like a website for kids, and it was, I think there was a period in time where they were trying to get people to create content for kids that was good, that, taught them how to be nice kids,
Mm-hmm.
And so Lucky Cat was one of those characters, and, he was like, I don't know, like a 10 or 12-year-old kid, supposedly, only he was a cat. And I gave voice to him, and that was always fun to do. It's always, but yeah, I think Lucky Cat was probably the most fun. But, I'll tell you what was really great is one time somebody called me in to do an imitation of Edith Bunker for, it was for Carl Jr., and I was in that studio for maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
they paid me $600 for 5 minutes worth of Edith Bunker, and I walked out of there going, man, I could do this for a living. It was great. It was really fun. I was very excited.
Well, I know when fans would approach Jean Stapleton, she'd be friendly with them, but she would not do an impression of Edith Bunker. Would you mind doing an impression of Edith?
Oh, God, I don't know if I can do it anymore. It's a long...
Edith, give me a beer right over here, okay? I want a beer, Edith.
Yes, oh, my God. I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to think of what would she even say. There's always, what?
All right, Edith, I got that right there. And you get the turkey and the chopped up green stuff. Hey, Meathead, get your books off the table. But Archie ain't going to be here for another hour. I don't care. Just get him off there.
You're way better at Archie than I am at Edith. That's for sure.
Oh, darn, if only they'd hired me to be Archie.
Anyway, so it was, that was really fun. That was an awesome thing to be able to do. Oh, if I pull in here, they're going to give me a ticket. I just know it. So I'm just going to keep driving around the airport. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what you do.
It's under construction here, too, so it's really not great for driving around. I'm going to pull up here.
Well, knowing how overregulated LA is, you're probably going to have your airport renovated and done long before LAX is going to be renovated and done.
Yeah, how long? I mean, they've been working on LAX for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, dude, it's like they're laying one floor tile a day on average, it seems, the way they're doing the construction.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I know that the last time I was there, and it had to be more than 2 years ago, they were under construction. So, yeah, good luck with that.
Thanks. We're going to need it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, my God. No. All right. I just texted someone, and now we're good. I'm just waiting. And I'll wait until the cops come and try to pull me over. They no doubt will.
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, right. I cannot use that card. Not in Pittsburgh. Nobody knows me. Nobody cares. And that's just fine. It's okay. I was never that big a name in L.A., quite frankly. It was always, I was always shocked if people knew who I was. It was just like, really? Wow, you remember.
There we go.
Yeah. In fact, I was so surprised when you called me or emailed me and said you wanted to interview me. I'm thinking, why? But God bless you. I mean, more power to you. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
You made my day.
This is the Talkie Archive. I'm Josh Jacobs. We've been talking with Fran Tunno, voiceover talent, as well as writer and radio personality in Los Angeles for many years, and now in Steel City, where she's from originally. And we've been doing our own version of comedy and conversation in cars, but without coffee. I've had some water and M&Ms here in the studio. I'm not sure what you have in your car, but
sadly, no coffee and no M&Ms. That's for sure. But boy, I'm going to go get them now.
Oh, there you go. Well, if it was 10 years from now, maybe we might have a way we can beam the M&Ms to you, kind of like they do in Star Trek.
Wouldn't that be nice? Thank you so much for wanting to interview me to begin with, and for just being so sweet and so much fun to talk to. I really appreciated the time.
Well, thank you. It was great working with you all those years ago here in Los Angeles, and
thank you.
And much success in your book. I hope to hear about it soon, and hope it gets published soon as well. And we'll be talking later.
All right. Take care, Josh. Thank you again.
This is the Talkie Archive. I'm Josh Jacobs. We've been talking with Fran Tunno, and she's got a book coming out hopefully soon, and we look forward to talking to her again once that book is published. Until next time, keep your mind on the things above, and as you hit that open road, don't be a slowdown spectator.